All right, let's have a productive day today. If you're feeling like you're in a slump today, hopefully just hanging out and getting some stuff done together can help you get moving. I definitely went into this day not wanting to do anything at all. We all have those days, but you know what? I always regret it when I let things go for a day, and I never regret it when I go to bed with a clean house. So I try to keep that mindset on days when I'm just like, I would rather do literally anything else than be productive right now. So we're starting off in Sutton's room. I'm just getting everything picked up. I'm also folding all of his laundry that I had to do. And we're going to talk about this later on in the video, but I've recently started using a new laundry detergent, and oh my goodness, the entire time I was folding this laundry, I was just like in absolute heaven, just smelling this laundry detergent. It's the best. But anyway, today's video is kind of a mix of everything. We're going to be doing some cleaning. We're also going to be doing some decluttering. We're going to do some organizing. We're also going to be doing some car cleaning, some outdoor cleaning. There's just a lot in today's video. Today ended up being a super productive day. You guys already know anytime there's a flat surface in my house, it becomes a catch-all. So I've been piling stuff up on top of Sutton's dresser that I needed to get put away. Actually, some of this was just the laundry that I was just dealing with, but still, I seem to always pile stuff up on his dresser. I literally cannot help myself. Like, no matter how many times I tell myself this time's going to be different, I'm not going to let things pile up, I still do. But it's fine. My house is typically not filthy. It's not super dirty. It's just messy. Like, I will just tend to let things pile up on surfaces, like I said, or just things will be out of place. But for the most part, my house is pretty clean. I prioritize things being sanitized and clean over things being perfectly tidy all of the time. I would love to know if anyone else's kids sleep with like 300 stuffed animals. My youngest doesn't sleep with that many. I want to say he's got like maybe 10, but my oldest, oh my goodness, if you've been around for a while, you know he has like 300 stuffed animals on his bed every single night, and he's attached to every single one of them. So that can be hard because it just makes making his bed kind of tricky every day.
I wish you were here, we would probably be upstairs lying in my bed. I pet you on the back, we were talking, we would laugh, and you'd understand. You listen.
Because Sutton's room is in the center of our house, I seriously walk by his room like all day long. I walk by it a million times a day. And so whenever his room is messy, I feel like the entire house is messy. And it's just like this constant daunting task hanging over my head that I need to get done. And I know that's all mental. Like, it's really just a mental hurdle that I need to get over. So anytime that I'm really kind of struggling to get moving and I'm not wanting to get things done, if I start with either Sutton's room or the kitchen, I feel like those two areas in my house really get the ball rolling for me and get me wanting to be productive. I find that it's all about cleaning the rooms that make the most impact mentally, and that really gets me moving. Between the laundry detergent and just like wiping things down with the spray away and the disinfectant wipes, Sutton's room smells so good right now. You guys all know by now how much I dread doing laundry, but when I tell you that I have found the secret to enjoying it, it's laundry sauce. The smell of this stuff is actually insane. When I opened this box up with my order in it, I was like, excuse me? And the scent lasts too. Like, it makes the whole laundry process feel kind of luxurious. My first thought was I need to clean all of my sheets with this immediately, because the thought of crawling into clean sheets at the end of the day that smell like this is indescribable. So the scent that I chose is Australian sandalwood, but they do have multiple other scents to choose from. And I could go on and on about this scent for days, but I think one really important key piece of information here is that these work as well. I have two little boys who bring me stained clothing on the daily, grass stains everywhere, and this gets all of that out. Plus, it's free of parabens, phosphates, phthalates, dyes, and Prop 65 chemicals. It's cruelty-free and eco-friendly with packaging made from recycled materials. I could seriously go on and on, but if you're a laundry hater like me, you definitely need this in your life. So I will have a QR code on the screen somewhere right here that you can scan, or you can just click the link in my description box to shop laundry sauce, and my code CatherineElaine15 will save you 15% off laundry sauce products. So be sure to use my code to save you some money, and I just want to say a big thank you to Laundry Sauce for sponsoring today's video. I took a break for a little while to get myself like more ready for the day, and I painted my nails, and now my house looks like a complete disaster. And it is absolutely downpouring outside, so the lighting in here is not great. So most of the mess is kind of localized to the dining area. Sutton was so very helpful opening up a robot vacuum for me. And then the living area is kind of a mess, but honestly, I don't usually clean this till the end of the day because it's not worth it. And of course, there's always the kitchen. So we're gonna take care of this. And we have Taylor on display because why not? There's almost nothing in this world that's less motivating to me than when it's rainy and cold outside. That combination just makes it really hard for me to get moving. So I'm actually glad that the morning started out decent and that it started raining later because I was already up and doing stuff when it started. But if I wake up in the morning and I look outside and it's super dark and cloudy and rainy, that makes me want to do nothing at all. I just want to stay in my bed. I want to go back to sleep. I want to watch movies. I want to cuddle with my cats. I don't want to clean a single thing in my house. I would love to know if there's anybody else who feels like they are just incredibly weather affected. Like the weather can completely change a day for me. It can completely dictate my mood. It can dictate my energy. And that's something that I really struggle with, especially over the winter time in New England. I would love to try to take my family on a warm vacation every single winter in order to try to just give myself something to look forward to in the dead of winter when it's freezing cold. However, I always worry that somebody is going to be sick and that it's going to ruin the trip, or we're not going to be able to go, or there's going to be some sort of big snowstorm that's going to ground all the flights and we're not going to be able to take off or not going to be able to get home or something. Like, I feel like traveling in the winter is so stressful, and maybe I'm just making it more stressful than it has to be by worrying about stuff that hasn't even happened or may not even happen. But these are the things I think about when I'm thinking about booking something like that, because I worry about wasting money and not being able to get money refunded if something were to happen. Is anyone else like this, or am I just completely insane? I honestly might be.
Brand new street and brand new me. Side by friends I need. Don't you tell me that you're.
You guys know I've been trying to be as minimal as possible for a while, but I did end up buying a second set of knives, spoons, and forks for my kitchen, and oh my goodness, it has been a life changer. I had like none. I don't know what happened to them because we've bought multiple sets over the years, so I don't know if maybe my kids were throwing them away by accident or what was happening, but it felt like we were constantly running out of clean silverware. It's something so small and so simple, but it really has made a world of a difference. Like, we always have a clean spoon or a clean fork when we sit down to eat dinner, and we're not worrying about running out of it all the time. This was seriously like a daily occurrence where at least one meal during the day I would open the drawer and there'd be nothing clean left in there. So this may be the one and only time you're going to hear me say that having an extra of something really has made a difference.
Makes sense. I wish I would know what you're thinking about.
I think this video is going to go up right before Halloween if I'm estimating correctly, so I would love to know in the comments what your kids or what you are planning to be for Halloween this year. Are you doing a family costume? Are your kids just dressing up? Typically, my husband and I do not dress up and just the kids do. I would love to be that mom who coordinates family Halloween costumes, but I'm just not. I have enough on my list. I don't need to add DIYing family Halloween costumes to it, but I wish, honestly, that I could. I wish I had that in me to do it. But also my kids' ages, one of them is 8.5 almost. The other one is almost 4. So that like 4.5 year age gap they just don't want to dress up as something similar or anything like that. Like, they just want to pick their own thing. This year, my oldest wants to be that shark from Italian Brain Rot, the one that wears blue shoes. You guys will have to let me know if your kids also know of the Italian Brain Rot. It's the worst, honestly, but that's what he wants to be for Halloween this year, so it is what it is. And then my youngest says he wants to be a ghost, which is like the easiest costume ever.
Don't you give me that look, take a bow, already know.
I currently have 2 robot vacuums. I have my corded vacuum that I recently got for a sponsorship. I have my cordless vacuum, and yet I still find myself sweeping the floor a lot of the time. I don't know, it's just like ingrained in me that I like to sweep the floor. Plus, when I'm going to vacuum the floor after, I don't really like to suck up like big giant pieces of things. So for example, my son had spilled a bunch of stuff over by the pantry cabinet, so I just would prefer to sweep that up and then vacuum instead of just vacuuming all of that up. Maybe that's just me, but that's just kind of the way that my brain works.
I wish I could do something that will make sense. I wish I would know what you're thinking about. I wish I could wipe my own memory out.
Trying to clean with kids around can be so hard. I knew that Sutton did not want me to take down his block castle and block tower that he had built, but there were blocks kind of just thrown all over the floor, and I wanted to at least get those put back in the bin, but he was not having it. He did not want me putting anything away. So that's again another reason why I don't usually clean my living room until the end of the day when everyone's in bed, because there's truly no point. Everything is just going to be taken back out again. Sometimes I try to do like a midday reset, and that can be helpful. It can make the cleaning at night a little bit easier, but not all the time. Sutton loves to play with his toys. He loves to take all of his stuff out, so he most of the time won't let me put it away to begin with. And now begins the kind of decluttering portion of today's video. I needed to declutter the entryway. There was just a lot of stuff hanging up. Now that we're entering a new season, we're wearing jackets more. I find that things start to really pile up by the entryway. So I wanted to go through all of this a little bit, and then I had some bags that I needed to go through. When we're like running out the door to go somewhere, I will shove stuff in one of my bags and bring it with us, and then I'll just put it down and not go through it when we get home, and then those things kind of end up piling up. So that's what was happening here. I just needed to go through all of these bags and get them organized and put away, and whatever was in them taken out of them. You guys know that we've been emptying out our storage unit, so this corner cabinet, it's once again looking a mess. So I need to just take everything out of it and start fresh and see if I can get it organized in a way that it might actually stay organized for once, but that's probably wishful thinking. And then after this cabinet, I want to go through this one because there's so many cords in here. I feel like I'm constantly decluttering cords because everything comes with one, and chances are they're like one of 3 different types of connectors. So I just need to go through it and determine which ones are just duplicates of the same thing and thin out that collection because it's annoying. The last few times that I've gone through this cabinet, I've just kind of tidied it while sitting in front of it. I haven't taken everything out of it, and sometimes that's just what you have to do. You have to be able to see the space that you're working with. You have to be able to see everything that you have right out in front of you, and it just makes the whole process so much easier, and I feel like the end result is always way better when you do it this way. I did not end up having a whole heck of a lot to get rid of in here. It was just so unorganized that it made it look like it was completely full of clutter, but I truthfully do use all of the stuff in this cabinet. I've gone through this so many times. I have decluttered the things that we're not using. But with going through the storage unit and bringing things back into my house, I found myself kind of just shoving things into cabinets just to get them out of the way and out of the boxes. And then the end result is that the space becomes completely disorganized. So this felt really, really good to get done, and it has stayed organized ever since I did this. It's only been a week, to be fair, but it's definitely so much more organized than it was before and so much more functional. Now, I know for a fact that there's definitely some things in my storage unit that still belong in this cabinet that we have not brought back yet, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. And for now, I'm just enjoying the organized space. That being said, for those of you who are still watching this video right now, usually the people who are still here, like my dedicated subscribers, we do have a little secret that we're keeping at the moment that might prevent me from putting things away into this cabinet from the storage unit. So I will be sure to let you guys know more details on that when I'm ready to share them.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes.
I swear, trying to get work done with kids, it's like opening one can of worms after another. He just found all these shells in the cabinet that I was going through and wanted to paint them. So we will have another mess to clean in just a little bit. I feel so bad about it, but I literally can't keep everything that my son brings home from school. He brings home so many things, and he happened to have a project that he did last year on alligators, and he had an alligator that he had kind of like made out of clay in class, and he had his project about the alligator, and I did toss it because there's really no good way for me to store that. I keep so much of his stuff, like the special things that he brings home from school, but in this case I just had nowhere to put it. It's not something that we would really put on display, and he honestly forgot that it existed. It was a project from last year, so I did go ahead and get rid of it, even though it hurt me a little bit inside to do that, but I just can't keep everything.
From cliffs so high, trusting our wings to fly.
And here's the cabinet after, looking so much more organized and just so much more functional for us. But now we're going to work on going through my baking cabinet. This cabinet gets a mess very quickly. I do love to bake. I tend to bake quite a bit. And so this house is lived in. Like, we live here, we do things here. And so nothing is going to stay perfect. And you have to kind of have that expectation when you're organizing a space. So while the organization system that I have going in here, I think works, I think it makes sense, it's still going to become unkempt. So it was time for me to also kind of empty out this cabinet and go through it and reorganize it and just get everything back where it belongs and just reset for the next time that I feel like baking. I also think that going through your baking cabinet or your baking drawer or wherever you store all of your baking supplies before the holiday season is essential, because you will most definitely be going in there quite a bit if you tend to bake things for the holidays. So you might as well get this task done now before all the craziness really starts. But speaking of baking, my mom recently made banana bread in a bread maker. And it was the best banana bread I've ever had in my life. Like, I seriously couldn't stop thinking about it. Like, the crust on this banana bread was like nothing I've ever tasted before. And she said it was the easiest, most simple recipe ever. And now I'm like, do I need a bread maker? Like, is that something that I should invest in and I should have in my house as someone who enjoys baking? So I would love your comments down below if you have a bread maker, if you think that's something that is worth investing in, just any advice you have for that, because I'm seriously interested in getting one and I may ask for one for Christmas. One of our absolute favorite treats during the Halloween season, or actually really during Halloween and Christmas season, are the little cookies that have the pictures on them. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. I think they're by Pillsbury. They are so good, and we like to kind of turn them into a cookie sandwich. So we'll just like put some frosting in the middle, put 2 cookies together, and then we roll them in sprinkles, and it's like the most delicious treat and just really fun for the kids for the holidays.
I played for you, I was crappy, but you sang along, and I thought you knew I could die to keep you near. We've got a foreign tent.
And here's everything I'm getting rid of between those 2 spaces. Most of this was just trash. So I'm just going to get rid of all of this. And now we're moving on to going through all of the cords. Like I said, this has been driving me completely insane. So I had to go through this drawer and thin out the cord collection.
I don't need to go over old and useless words. What you said, what I said, that might have made it worse. We're here again at the same spot where we kissed the first time. I swear my pain's far away, long gone by now. We've got a fire in the tent. It's 5:30 a.m.
And now moving on to the worst of the worst projects, which is removing the car seats to clean the car. I had to do this because we are switching my son from being a walker to like doing the car line for the cold weather. So I had to move the car seats to the other sides of the car just so it's easier for my oldest to get out of the car in the morning, if that makes sense. So I had to do this anyway, and I figured while I was doing it, I might as well just clean the car and film it as some extra motivation. But if you've been watching my channel for any length of time, this really is not bad compared to how it usually is. And that's because I have been trying to just spend 5 to 10 minutes every single week going through my car, quickly vacuuming it and getting rid of trash instead of letting things pile up for months at a time. So the whole project of cleaning my car has become a lot easier because I do it more frequently than I was doing it before, and I don't let it become a big, huge job. That being said, it's not perfect. It's never going to be perfect. I have 2 children who make messes in here. I make a mess in my own car, in their defense. But it probably really does need to be detailed at some point, and I would love to do that. But it's not in the budget at the moment.
Aren't you tired of the drama? You use your words like they are knives. I don't need that type of drama and trying to be tough all the damn time. You try to make yourself feel better by taking me down. Once I fell, but now I'm strong. I'm ready for the rematch. Shoot me down, don't you know I get up? Yeah, baby, I will fight. No, there ain't nothing stopping me. I'm bulletproof, I won't fall. I'm bulletproof, go on, shoot me down. I will always get.
Putting a car seat into the car is one of the worst jobs in the world. It's no fun, but I will say that installing the Nuna is so much easier than some of the other car seats. So while this is a very expensive car seat, I feel like it's worth its weight in gold just for how easy it is to install into the car. That being said, Sutton is getting close to growing out of that car seat, so I'm going to have to find a different option pretty soon, and that makes me so sad. I remember just being so excited when I bought that Nuna for him when he was, I don't know, he must have been like 1 or something around that time, and I just can't believe that he's already almost grown out of it. And now we're going to shift gears a little bit by doing some outdoor cleaning. I had to get this table cleared off on our deck. We had rain that day, so everything was soaking wet and disgusting. There were leaves everywhere. I had even accidentally left my Tinco wet dry vacuum outside when it was pouring rain, completely by accident. And you know what? It still works, which is amazing. But yeah, I accidentally left that outside. So I had to get this deck just cleaned off, everything cleared off, get the leaves cleaned up as much as possible. I also just wanted to hose some stuff down and get it cleaned a little bit and put them away into the shed for the cold weather season. We aren't going to need our water table probably anytime soon, so I wanted to get that fully cleaned out. I'm so sad that warm weather season is coming to an end. It's pretty rare that we have a warm day now. I would say like the warmest temperature we're getting at the moment is around 55 degrees. So yeah, I'm not ready for a long winter. But once we finish out here, that is going to be it for today's video. So I hope you guys enjoyed it and enjoyed hanging out with me today. I feel like this was just kind of like a chatty catch-up video a little bit, but just hoping this gave you a little bit of motivation or just someone to hang out with and brighten your day a little bit today. But thank you as always for watching. It seriously means the world to me and my family. It's because of all of you that I get to live my absolute dream life and be home with my children every single day. But that's it for me. Again, hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe and turn your notification bells on so you don't miss any of my future uploads. We have so much exciting stuff coming up that I cannot wait to share. But that's it. I'll see you next time.
You can